and hear.
When you return that money, you hear the message.
Whatever is not yours, even if you kill yourself, it cannot come. That's my opinion.
So do share the facts on Hard Fact.
Hard Fact.
Hard Fact. 3 to 6 p.m. Live on 95.1 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
This is Hard Facts.
Hard Fact.
Hard Facts.
On 95.1 Nigeria Info.
Good afternoon, Abuja. Thank you so much for tuned in, I beg your pardon, to your passionate radio, 95.1 Nigeria Info. Welcome to Hard Facts this amazing Thursday afternoon. And just to make it double amazing, I will ensure that you get the very finest of old school tune played today. And, I'm afraid to ask you to give me the songs you want to hear that are dated, like old school, that brings home memory, because sometimes I get shocked with how far back you want to go or how diverse the playlist becomes. So I will do justice to that, but perhaps look at one or two of your suggestions also. And I trust it's been amazing conversation, from the morning crossfire, what's happening Abuja, the Sunnyside show. And this is where I humbly take over first from now to 7ish on Hard Facts. My name is Kimberly Wachko. Call me Kim, the Oracle, the Digital Oracle, the OTF, the Fellow, or Chanya One, Madam Speaker. And I will graciously say yes to them all. As usual, we start off with the big stories, and one of the biggest, and I know you need some bit of a cheering news. Even if you've heard it before, I'm happy to start off the show with it again. Dangote Petroleum Refinery has announced fresh reduction in the pump price of premium motor spirit, that's petrol, across the country, with new rates now ranging from 875 naira to 905 naira per litre. It depends on the location where you're getting it from. The new price, which marks a 15 naira reduction per litre across all regions and partner retail outlets, was posted on the official social media handle of Dangote Refinery today. It applies to all major fuel marketers in partnership with the refineries, which are MRS, Dover, Hayden, Optima Energy, Techno Oil, and Hyde Energy. In the earlier pricing template, Lagos resident paid 890 naira per litre, while prices rose to 920 in the northeast and the south part of the country. Now, with the adjustment, Lagos resident will now pay 875 naira per litre, while those in the northeast and south would pay 905 naira per litre. And the breakdown of the review shows Lagos as 875, the southwest 885, the northeast as 905, the northwest and north central 895, and the south and southeast standing at 905. And the refinery urged consumers to purchase fuel only business from its partner outlet and encourage Nigerians to report non-compliance, and they gave a hotline for you to report, just in case you go to any of these partners mentioned and you find that they're selling above the price. Dangote is saying, report to us and we take decisive action. And say to get it at that price, you have to get at this specific place. So let's see if NNPC is also going to do the needful and bring theirs, because at this point in time we're going to see the price war go on. If this one bring by 10 naira, someone else wants to bring by 15, down by 15. If somebody takes it up by 5 naira, somebody else wants to take it up a little higher. So perhaps this is what it will be until we get more of this refineries mainstream and make it a bit more competitive at the end of the day. So it is what it is if you're buying from a select group. So don't go to any random fuel station and think that the price is going to be across board. It might not apply that way. So I need you to be mindful of that altogether. And talking about some cheering news, at least you stay here in the federal capital. So if you're talking about development, if you're talking about road constructions and renovations, it should affect you. And if it's working, it's making you happy, I want to believe. And so I would just let you in on this report that the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Yesim Wike, has earmarked part of the 1.78 trillion naira proposed 2025 FCT budget statutory budget for the completion of 4 ongoing road projects across the territory. He disclosed this yesterday when he appeared before the Senate and the House of Representative Committee on the FCT to defend the 2025 FCT proposed budget, and explained that out of the 1.7 trillion naira, 1.28 trillion was earmarked for capital project, representing 72.3%, while 494.1 billion naira was set aside as recurrent expenditure, representing 27.7%, and explained that road projects sited both in the city center and satellite town will be handled by the Federal Capital Development Authority, which is the FCDA, and the Satellite Town Development Department, STDD, and explained that a total of 801.5 billion naira was allocated to the FCDA, while 137 billion naira was allocated to the STDD for execution of the capital project. And he did identify some of the projects at the completion of road B6 and B12 and full scope development of Arterial Road N20 from Northern Parkway to Outer Northern Expressway on X. Whatever that means. I hear you ask. I don't have that, but the penciled completion in the provision of engineering infrastructure to Guzape District, provision of engineering infrastructure to Wuye District, and provision of engineering infrastructure to Maitama 2 District. Others are the extension of Inner Southern Expressway from Southern Parkway to Ring Road 2, and full scope development of FCD Highway 105, that's the Kuje Road, from Airport Express to Outer Southern Express with spur at Kiami District. And also for completion at the construction of the Northern Pathway or Parkway from Ring Road 2 to Ring Road 3, which is about a 6.2 kilometer full scope development of Arterial Road N20 from Arterial Road N5, and rehabilitation of the Old Kefi Road. And the full scope development of this road from Wuye District to Ring Road 2 and the provision of access road to bus terminal in FCT would be completed. They also talked about the dualization and the upgrading of Ushafa War College, Army Checkpoint Road, and Entieri Road, and construction of Pai to Gumani Road in Kwali Area Council, and the dualization of Kuje to Gwagwalada Road. All of this were mentioned, and explained that 14 ongoing projects will be sped up and completed before the end of 2025 fiscal year. And according to him, the expansion and rehabilitation of the roads would eventually reduce the travel time, traffic gridlock on road within and outside the capital city. And then seeing his track record from where he was governor to also his performance in less than 2 years that he's been the FCT minister, one can say for sure that he puts his money where his mouth is. So when it comes to this, well, we'll give the benefit of the doubt that the completion will be done in record time. And he's saying that all of these are happening simultaneously, and 2025 is a target year where he said a good number of them will be completed. Is that enough to brighten up your day? Something to start off with? Huh? All right, let's go on a quick break.
Benefit of your own people.
Thank you very much. And just so you know, we're live on Facebook and we're live on YouTube. On Facebook is at Nigeria Info Abuja, same as YouTube at Nigeria Info Abuja. So you can check it out. You can leave your comment. You can leave your thoughts. And I will go through and ensure that I read as many messages as possible. Now, this story has been talked about a lot, and I'm going to bring it back as one of our big three, because they spoke with the father of the young guy who was killed, who was shot, sadly, yesterday as he was headed for his examination. Otunayo Alade, the father of Kende, the teenager killed by police officers' stray bullets, says one of his sons was running late for the West African Senior School Certificate Examination, WAEC, on the day the tragedy struck. He added that the route he was driving on when his son was shot serves as a shortcut to the main lane. And Kende was killed on Tuesday in the Bagi area of Ibadan after a police officer shot at his father's vehicle. Now, there were all kinds of stories that made the round when the story broke. You know, when the hashtag was trending about end to police brutality. Some said they were chasing Yahoo. You know, that story went round first, and then a stray bullet fired. Another said he was on Okada with his two sons, and a stray bullet fired. And now the father has been spoken with, and you get the clear picture of what happened. He actually took a route he was not supposed to take, and then this happened. Well, the Oyo State Police Command said Alade tried to evade arrest after he was caught driving against traffic, and that's where the chase came from. So it was not Yahoo boys. It was not anything. It was him beating traffic. Driving on a road he shouldn't have been, even though he admitted that it was a shortcut to the main lane at that point in time. And so he was asked to stop, but he wanted to perhaps outdrive the traffic police at that point. In a video, Alade was seen maneuvering his car in an attempt to resist being stopped by a joint team of police officers and officials of the Oyo State Traffic Management Authority. And a police corporal then fired live rounds to immobilize the vehicle. However, Kende, who was seated behind the car with his twin brother, was hit in the abdomen. It says he was explaining on, I think it was on News Central TV when he was interviewed, and said he was not violating the one-way traffic rule because the route he was flying was a stone throw from intended lane. Well, technically, sir, you were still violating the traffic rule. You shouldn't have been on that lane. Doesn't matter how short it is. But going back to his story, I was taking the children to school yesterday morning, and at the entrance of my junction, there's maybe a stone throw, not up to one pole or two pole to where we just followed and branched to the normal way. He said, to my surprise, I saw the police there. They came and they blocked me. They even hit my vehicle, and I had to reverse to bypass them. I don't know. I wouldn't say one way because the place is a very short distance to them. They said I followed one way, and I let them know that this is the road all the neighborhood uses, a very short distance to the main junction. And asked why he did not stop when he was cornered by the security officials. Alade said he did not want his son to be late for the WAEC test. You know how Nigerian government works. If you're on your way, once you fall into their trap. And moreover, the elder brother of the deceased was supposed to be writing WAEC yesterday. He was having 8:30 WAEC paper yesterday, and if I should stop, they would have delayed the boy. That was why I had to maneuver my way. And added that he heard the gunshot but did not stop until his deceased son began screaming in pain. Afterward, the twin brother relayed that his brother had been hit by a bullet. And I can't really say, it's only God that knows the situation of thing, he said. Why I asked if he thought the situation would have been averted. He said his late son wanted to become a lawyer and quit science class at the beginning of the second term. You know, there's a lot of story here to unpack from this story. And that's why I propose to say we're going to bring it back, because a lot of people have had so much to say one side of it, which is the police. And the anger is legit. I mean, somebody died. However, there's so much... well, let's go on a quick break. We'll be back and get your thoughts on this story.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
Right, it's a painfully short break after all. So, yeah. That's the father side of the story. And, you know, a lot of people started rethinking it, hearing the side of the story. Now, it's tragic, it's sad. And I've heard a lot of people commentary even on the station when it brought up on the morning show, when Sumi brought it on the day it broke also to like, and even when I brought it up, and the anger is legitimate to say another person died at the hand of the police. Why was live bullet used? Why wasn't it managed properly? Should they have fired a live bullet and all of that? And those arguments are valid. And I think even with his detailed side of the story, they're still pretty much valid. But I think there's also something for all of us to learn from this particular story. While the police will do their thing and whatever sanction is applied, to understand that there's no excuse for doing the wrong thing. It doesn't matter how short that road is. To say, we used to do it is one way, is the short corner, and my son was running late, is to say, it shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened if the right you traveled the right road in the first instance, perhaps nobody would have stopped you. But the reason why he was stopped in the first place was because he was using a route. Doesn't matter if it's one pole or two pole, like he mentioned, I shouldn't have. And who knows, if you had waited patiently and explained that your kid was running for exam, and perhaps you're sorry and ready to pay the fine, you'd have perhaps delayed the boy a bit, but the twin brother would have been alive at this point in time. So it's a case of many wrongs applied here. And I think that moving forward, we should be able to address all the wrongs on so many levels. As much as you want to call out the police and condemn the use of live bullet and not properly managing it. And a lot of people have said that area is packed. There are a lot of people. So if you fire a live bullet, the chances are it will hit someone, and it might hit the person unintended, because we've seen a lot of unprofessional handlings of guns and bullets by trigger-happy police officers in the country. We've seen that. One too many. Enough for people to protest, saying end police brutality. And we saw that lead to the disbandment of SARS. But did he technically end it? He reduced it, but it did not end it, because we're seeing that happen. But Nigerians, we also need to learn to do the right thing the right way and not make excuses to say, oh, it's just one pole, two pole. Those are the kind of excuses that people say and use when they use one way. I have seen it a lot of time where you find a gridlock that is as a result of nothing. There's no car broke down, no accident in front, just people who are not patient enough to just go, stay on their lane and get there in good time. And so people start to form extra lane. And before you know it, some people are forming one way. They're coming from the opposite direction, blocking everywhere. And you start to wonder, who are these people? And I bet if you stop them, they'll say, it's not just one pole, two pole away that will just corner, but everybody's doing it. And then the next thing, there's a web of traffic that you spend 3-4 hours and not able to get out of it. It's a very sad story, but I hope that we're able to all learn from it, that these things can actually be as a result of our miscalculation and misjudgment that could trigger it, that could just set the stage for, other ripple misjudgment and miscalculations to happen. Sadly, a life was lost that would have been avoided. And yes, it's okay to call out the police and how it was managed, but it's okay also to tell Nigerians the truth, that sometimes our behaviors out there is totally unacceptable. Well, I'll get to you, seeing that I don't have a guest with me in the studio. Feel free to call me up on 0700 951 0000, or you can call 0809 597 4869. You can call via WhatsApp or send a message via WhatsApp or send a voice message via WhatsApp. 0809 993 0137. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good. Yes, you're welcome.
How is work?
Work is going pretty well. How's yours going?
Thank God. My name is Moses. I'm calling from CBD, Central Business District, Abuja.
Go ahead, Moses.
Actually, from what your the first story, when it comes to projects, in fact, you give it to UK, where the he has been doing well. If you look around Abuja, since he took over as the Minister of FCT, you can see the difference clearly. You understand? There is one particular place I went around Jais Park. When I got to that place, in fact, because I knew the place before, I wouldn't have known that it's the place again, because the work he has done in that place, he has opened up many places, and I want to give it to him. So I want you to continue to do the good work that he's doing in Abuja. I believe by the time he finishes with 4 years, you will discover that he will have left Abuja better than the way he met it. They will say the last administration of Buhari, the FT minister, at a point, you know, he will come up, we don't even know his name again. When he was completely missed out, nothing was done, the location will be given to him. They will not use the money. At the end of the day, we had that we return how many trillions. Those money that are not meant to be returned, we did not use them. Yeah. And thank God for this man that came and is using the money. May God bless him. Then, quickly about the second story. I understand what you are saying, but what we are telling our Nigeria police that they should be professional. There is a way they can arrest these people, and that is why we are talking about identity. The motor that carry that vehicle has plate number. It's just for them to snap the plate number and take the plate number to the VIO. They will get the address of the man and go and get the man. And rather to send that guy to any grave. I know that what the man did was wrong, but the thing is that people cannot make it right. You understand? There is a way we can be digital. Get a good this address, all this plate number, the house address that is attached to it. Snap it. Once you get it, you go to the VIO, the next visit. You have a collaboration with them. But if you don't have this, what's it called, mechanism to check those things, you will arrest the man. You get him and get the fine that is due to him. And what the fine is due, if I do heavily, nobody will try it next time. Than for you to begin to go and what's it called, light bullet on a vehicle that is not as if
All right, sir. All right, sir. Thank you very much. Your point is very clear and noted. Valid point also about how this can be handled, particularly in a place that is packed and you're not dealing with hardened criminals as such. Hello.
Good afternoon. My name is Lukman. I'm calling them out.
All right, Lukman, go ahead.
Yes. Those who are praising Wiki, they should conclude their psychopathy. I do not understand the kind of praises that is being given to him. See, he's the one that threatened all the rules in Abuja. You are praising Wiki, they are done well, but you cannot put one mass transit bus road every morning. The people at the front, 3 people at the back. Even some will even laugh at the back, eat the children. And so, to provide transport infrastructure is not one of his responsibilities. To start psychopathy, some of us are just praising him so that he's supposed to not attack us. He's not encouraging. How will he even know where he's looking? So, about the police, it's a lesson for those some of those drivers who think maybe they can. Nigeria police is not a British police. It's not even a Ghanaian police where they will blow whistle and driver will stop. You understand? If it is in those countries, once they blow whistle, if like your car go for you, but the Nigerian police will shoot you. So it's a lesson for those drivers to learn. When they stop. I let them carry your car. If they take life, they can never restore the life. Has gone forever. I saw the way that driver, the father of that child, driving. He even had to kiss on people. The video was so criminal. All in the game of trying to.
I mean, that's why some people thought it was Yahoo Boys because of the way he was trying to. I mean, we've seen someone who was trying to beat traffic and traffic officers and ran into people on the road because he was trying to avoid them.
Exactly. He could have even killed people where he drove that car. So, although they say two wrongs cannot make a right, but we still blame the police. You understand? That's it. Thank you.
Well, you could actually all still have all of them in trouble, both the police in the handling of it and the man also in his disobedience of traffic rules. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon, Speaker.
Yes, you're welcome.
I'm calling from 11.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. I want to speak. Yesterday, I called on our show and I spoke about on this against the police. I'm also a victim of police stray bullets, and he gave me a permanent disability. But I want to go on the side of against the boy's father. There's this saying that it's better to be late than be late. Exactly. I think this is a critical example. This is a critical example of it's better to be late and be late. If they should turn back the hands of time, I think the father will prefer the boy missing the entire wire than what we have now. There is no moral justification of following one way, whether as long as it's not a life-threatening incident. The boy's father knew about the exam long before today, so they would have prepared had enough time to prepare ahead of time, leave the house early, knowing the time scheduled for those exams. So trying to say the boy was running late for an exam that you had a information about is not an excuse in the first place. And we know, I'm not trying to make excuse now for the corruption research, but we know the nature of our law enforcement officers, that if they stop you, they can pass away with a petrol amount and you have your way. So I'm not trying to say giving bribe is good or no, that's not the point now. But I'm not trying to say look at the nature of the system. You can, like you said earlier, you can actually appeal to their conscience that your boy is not late for the exam. Make excuse and the boy will continue. I had a son of 5 years old. We are driving on the road, got to a traffic light. He said, Daddy, is a red, you can't drive. I said, no, we are taking right, he's showing green. I had to convince him why I have to follow right because it was already showing green. And the boy insisted. Most of the time, we are also teaching our upcoming generation when we disobey law enforcement. People will say that when you are in a joke, a child the fire sense barrier and will use the leg and break the door. If this boy sees his father,
he would think it's the right way to do. Yeah.
What kind of thing are you teaching the upcoming generation? They will be worse than our fathers if we don't take time. That's my thing.
I mean, as much as you want to hang the police, do that, call them out for lack of professionalism and all of that. But I also want to believe that every day they see unruly behavior on that road, enough for them to want to say, okay, it's time for us to take this action. I mean, I can just mentally picture, because I actually do see it on the roads, even in the place where you expect us to be a bit more organized. And people who deliberately look at a traffic officer in the area where I stay, with the traffic police there, telling them, you're not supposed to turn here, go here. And you see them just turn and speed off. Like, who are you to tell me where to turn or where not to turn? Even when there's a clear sign saying, do not turn here, because it's going to cause traffic. I see it constantly on a daily happen. And then there's a way you see this for one too many times and you think, oh, these people are headstrong, they never listen. So we're going to put up a chase and might send a lesson to this person. But look, it got the police in trouble, it got a boy's life taking, and it's getting perhaps a father in trouble at the end of the day also. So the only way to do the right thing is the right way, Sha. Hello.
Good afternoon, ma.
Yes, you're welcome.
Our fellow, how's your day?
Going pretty well. You're welcome.
Thank you. My name is Ojo, the next president.
Go ahead, Ojo.
Honestly speaking, I don't know when we'll begin to live a normal life in this country. Everything about us in this country is just abnormality. Yes, like you guys have said, two wrong cannot make a right. But when somebody has done wrong, it is expected of police, being a professional body, to do the right thing, no matter the condition, no matter the distress. I think 2 years ago, on this your station, we were hearing that, is it not Canada or what, that they celebrated 10 years that their police have not taken a life. When is it going to happen in this country? Why should a policeman be going about the street with a live bullet? In the advanced country, before you see any police engage criminal with a live bullet, that criminal is life threatening to the police and general public. Before you can see they use a live bullet, how much more somebody that beat traffic? Doesn't mean that they don't have the record of that vehicle. That it's now a must for you to use bullet. When you see that there are children inside that vehicle, you still have to put the trigger. Honestly speaking, now, can you take the life back? Because it beat traffic. Yes, it's very wrong. Honestly speaking, God will help us in this country. So many things wrong in this country.
All right. Thank you very much.
If I drop the mic, please, a little. Concerning the budget for FCT, I was hearing you say something that FCDA, they have their own budgets. And
it was talking about what was allocated to the FCDA based on the project that they are handling, and then the one that is going to the SDTT. I'm going to get the full meaning of it. Just left my head for 1 second. Just to tell you how the Satellite Town Development Department, they will handle one part of it, and then FCDA gets 101.5 billion.
So how do we distribute the one that is being handled by the Federal Capital Territory Development Authority and the one that is being handled by the other one?
Well, going by the report, they actually gave a breakdown. Mr. Ojo, they actually gave a breakdown. Yeah. It's quite detailed, and I don't want to go into all of that, but they actually gave a breakdown of the areas that fall under the FCDA and the one that falls under the Satellite Town Development Department.
Yeah, I'm not arguing it with you. I'm not arguing it with you, but as an ordinary citizen like myself, how will I know the project that they want to handle so that I can monitor it and see if the project will carry out? Because we have been saying that the Minister of FCT, Wike, has bombarded the FCT with capital projects. And among the projects that you mentioned that they will do next year, or probably this year, is Madam Buhari Road. I heard you mention it that they want to dualize it. That road is already dualized. I don't know whether they don't want to turn it to 6 lane. So that is another question I want to raise. And among the budget you have read out, I've not seen where you said that, okay, Abuja, they want to improve on the metropolitan train. I did not see where they mentioned it.
All right.
And at this point in time, I think that is what is mostly needed to ease the congestion in the FCT.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Hello? And just seeing that, okay, go ahead, sir.
Mazi Destiny Anthony.
Oh, Mazi Destiny.
Number,
okay. You're welcome.
He's not a Yahoo guy. He's a new number.
You know, Nigerians, anybody running away or hiding or anything, everything is Yahoo. Everything is Yahoo. We just summarize it down to Yahoo at the end of the day.
I'm telling you, my sister.
You're welcome, Joe.
It's sad that we lost that child. Thank you, dear. When I saw the video, I really shed tears. You see, but this is the foundational problem. You know, when we are doing SARS, is that the solution? What do they teach our policemen and women in that police school or police academy, whatever they call it? That is where the problem is. We are colonized by Britain. Have you observed that the way that they are Kim, I can be drunk with a knife and 6 British men can be on me, put the weapon down, they will appeal, find a way, use this or something.
I'm glad that you are using Mazi, I'm glad you're using British police and not the American police, because we've seen one too many misfiring by the American police.
I know. I'm coming. The reason why I mentioned British, they were the ones that colonized us.
It's okay.
And I believe that they were the ones that, gave whatever is the program or whatever, what you call it, whatever it is that is being taught. I heard that the document that our Nigerian custom is still operating was written years back. The same with the Nigerian police and so many other things. So this is a foundational problem. We need to go back. What are they being taught? We know the American issue. It's purely a race. They are just not interested in blacks. And that's why if I'm looking for a country to relocate today, United States will be the last. I'm not interested in that country. You give me free visa, unless I will go for a particular thing and return immediately. I don't like the country. I'm not saying that the other European countries, they are not. But in terms of the way the police relate to people around, a British police can't speak on the slightest provocation, you release the trigger. Let's not just blame the policemen and women. We know that they are fathers. Like the guy who shot that thing must be a father. He must be a brother to somebody or somebody's son too. He shouldn't have pulled the trigger. After all, it was just a traffic offense. Why release bullets? But it's a foundational thing. What are they being taught in that particular place? Because I just feel like for them, they don't have any other thing apart from that. And secondly, our police, are they equipped? Why are they moving around with long rifle every time? You find other police people, you have other light weapons that you can use, to control a particular situation. You resort to guns and your gun as the last resort when even your own right or your own life or other people in that environment's life are at threat. That is a foundational problem. On the other hand, we keep telling people stop beating traffic lights, even though that the child was late. But there is no way you stop and say, "Oh, I have a child is late. Look at his ID. Look at his paper. He's late. Please help us." Then there's no that won't let you go than this, little boy's life being wasted. When I saw that video, I have a son. I have to put myself in that man's shoe. What if it's my own child or my daughter?
All right.
It's sad.
Thank you,
my dear.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Welcome.
Once again, my name is Godfrey.
Godfrey, go ahead, sir.
I have to praise Nike. Someone called and was trying to condemn him. We have been around to know what the previous ministers were doing. The other minister didn't even seem to know his job. He chose to be catching people, accusing them of being prostitutes. You go out in the night to buy a loaf of bread just because you're wearing trousers. They will catch you, put you inside this thing. and call you a prostitute. Doing such funny things. The street lights were not even working. He didn't seem to know his role as the Minister of FCC. I went to Saburi and I didn't know my way anymore because of the way he did the road. Beautiful. Standard, like as if you're not in Nigeria. So I commend him. Then on this second story, sometimes I wonder, people are in a vehicle and the police stops you. Why will they shoot inside the vehicle? Why don't you aim at the tires? I don't think it is even right to say police shouldn't go to the streets with live bullets. But why would they aim at people inside the vehicle instead of the tire? I think it would have made more sense if you try to immobilize the vehicle by shooting the tires rather than raising it into the vehicle where you know human beings could be hit. So I don't understand that. Although it is wrong to beat the traffic. In fact, if you go to other countries, you find, like some other African countries, you will find policemen under a tree or some far away from the road. They will sit down and be reading their newspaper. They will cross their legs and reading newspaper. If they hear the sound of a vehicle, you just hear, they blow their whistle. The driver will park, come out and go and meet them. If they want everybody to come down, the driver will come back and say, so they want everybody to come down, and come and see them. So each person will come down, they form a team.
All right.
They will see you one by one. But in Nigeria here, with a gun, they will stop you and you refuse to stop. It doesn't make sense at all. So we have to learn to change.
I am glad that we are seeing it from all sides also, because for the life of me, I don't know how a policeman will even stop me holding a gun, and I will now decide at that point that I want to step on the gas.
I was telling them that in Nigeria,
I can't even think about doing something of that nature.
Even if that's on a road, hello?
Yeah, we're listening.
That in Nigeria, they carry drums, fill it with sand, and block the road to make it narrow. They told me it's a lie. How can a policeman stop you and you will not stop? How can they hear the whistle? I told them in Nigeria, they don't just leave the road open. They block the road and leave a small place where a vehicle will pass. They said it's not possible. It's not possible. Because they are not used to that kind of a thing. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I mean, there are a lot of behaviors we've put up with for a long time that we've normalized. And it's wrong. And then over time, because it's happened that way, we've normalized it and integrated it into our road culture, life culture, that we don't see anything completely off about it. And, that's why I say it feels like you're speaking from both sides of your mouth, because it's almost difficult to just condemn one and leave the other. Honest to God. Hearing from the father's side, the story of what he did. Now, it did not require taking the life of that boy. I need to make it very clear. It did not require the use of firing a live bullet. I mean, at first people were saying, Yahoo boy, we're thinking hardened criminals and all of that. It did not require the use of that. But we also need to self-correct the bad behavior of thinking it is not much of a crime if you do this, even though it's wrong. We need to understand as a people that even if we've done it for a very long time, that it is still not right. It still contributes to the dysfunctionality that we experience, that we have to deal with in this country. When we talk about institutions not working, we are part of the people that make this institution not work because of our behavior. And you used to think that you need to separate certain people who have constituted authority from us to saying that they need to be right first. And I'm going to ask a question, a critical one that you need to answer. Do you think Nigeria, as we are, this very moment, this very second, it's safe enough to have policemen without live bullets on the roads, on the streets? Honest to God, think about it. Present day Nigeria, as we stand, with all that we're grappling with, that we're there yet to say that we don't want to see any single police officers within the roads, highway or anywhere with live bullets. I understand people are calling for training of the police officers to know when to use it. And I'll say yes, I would want to. I've been to countries, been privileged to travel to a lot of countries where Some of them, I was even asking my friend, no get police here because I don't see police officers on the road. Like, they're not just there. You see, traffic light, everything is organized. I've been to a place where there were no vehicles coming and everybody stopped. And then I was wondering, the Nigerian in me was wondering, why are we not moving? And they're saying, because the light has not given you the right to move. Not one soul thought, police no car no they come. Let me just dash across. No be just one pole, two pole. No one, not one. The only person who was even restless to cross was the Nigerian, Kim, who was thinking, why are we standing there? But I looked at what others were doing and I knew that this is the right way to do it. And we stopped. I remember we were driving one time and there was zebra crossing. And I realized a lot of people are not even educated about zebra crossing. And then, school children were crossing. It was even the school boy that was even giving hand to the car to see, it's a zebra crossing. We're allowed to cross. You need to see how vehicles were.